Hello everyone, I got 5 jokes for you today. A rugged cowboy strolls into a bar, taking a break from his day-to-day ranch duties. He sidles up to the counter and orders himself a stiff drink. As he sits there, savoring every drop of his whiskey, a young lady enters the bar and takes a seat next to him. She casually glances at the cowboy, taking in his weathered appearance, and finally decides to strike up a conversation. She asks, "Excuse me, but are you a real cowboy?" The cowboy pauses, reflecting on his life's work, and replies, "Well, I've spent my entire existence out on the ranch, wrangling horses, repairing broken fences, and branding cattle under the hot sun, so I suppose I am a genuine cowboy." The young lady seems intrigued and decides to share a personal detail about herself. "You know, I'm a lesbian. My days are consumed by thoughts of women. From the moment I wake up in the morning until I lay down at night, women are always on my mind. Whether I'm showering, watching TV, or simply going about my daily routine, everything I do somehow leads me to think about women." The cowboy listens attentively, nodding as she speaks. They continue to chat amiably, exchanging stories about their lives and experiences. A short time later, an enthusiastic couple enters the bar and takes a seat next to the cowboy. They seem to be tourists, eager to engage with a real-life cowboy. They lean over and ask, "Are you an authentic cowboy?" He replies, "I always thought I was, but I just found out that I'm a lesbian." During a lively classroom discussion, a teacher was exploring the various occupations held by the parents of her students. She found that understanding her students' family backgrounds helped her connect with them on a more personal level. As the conversation progressed, the teacher finally turned to little Johnny, who had been eagerly waiting for his turn to share. She asked, "Johnny, what line of work is your father in?" With a beaming smile, little Johnny replied, "Oh, my dad's a professional magician." The teacher's eyes lit up with fascination. "That's quite interesting. What would you say is his most impressive trick?" Little Johnny thought for a moment before answering, "Well, his absolute best trick, the one that always amazes people, is sawing individuals in half. It's truly mind-blowing." The teacher, clearly delighted by the unique occupation, responded, "How wonderful, Johnny. I'm sure your father's performances are quite the spectacle." Curious about the impact of such a profession on little Johnny's family, the teacher continued, "Tell me, Johnny, do you have any siblings?" Little Johnny nodded earnestly and said, "Yes, ma'am, I sure do. I have 1 half-brother and 2 half-sisters." A newlywed couple was enjoying their honeymoon at a beautiful resort, eagerly getting to know each other more intimately and sharing their lives as husband and wife. But both of them harbored a secret that they were hesitant to reveal to one another. The husband sat on the edge of the bathtub in the bathroom, deep in thought. He worried, "How can I possibly tell my wife about my terribly smelly feet and my horrendously stinky socks? I've managed to hide it from her while we were dating, but she's bound to find out sooner or later. How should I break the news to her?" Meanwhile, the wife sat on the bed, lost in her own thoughts. She wondered, "How can I tell my husband about my awful bad breath? I've been incredibly lucky to keep it from him while we were courting, but it won't take long before he discovers the truth once we're living together. How can I tell him gently and without causing embarrassment?" The husband, after much contemplation, finally mustered the courage to reveal his secret to his wife. He left the bathroom and walked into the bedroom with determination. Approaching the bed, he carefully climbed over to his wife, placed his arm around her, and moved his face very close to hers, so close that their noses almost touched. "Darling," he whispered nervously, "I have a confession to make." His wife, relieved that he was opening up, responded gently, "So have I, my love." To which the husband, with a look of surprise, replied, "Don't tell me. You've eaten my socks." A brunette, a redhead, and a blonde find themselves stranded together on the edge of a towering cliff, with no apparent way down. As they peer over the precipice, considering their options, a radiant angel suddenly appears before them. The angel, in a gentle, soothing voice, instructs the 3 women to take a leap of faith off the cliff. However, they must also shout aloud what they wish to land on safely as they descend. The women exchange uncertain glances but decide to trust the heavenly being's advice. The brunette bravely volunteers to go first. She takes a deep breath, steps towards the edge, and then leaps into the void, yelling, "Pillows!" Miraculously, she lands on an enormous, fluffy pile of pillows at the bottom, completely unharmed. The redhead, encouraged by the brunette's safe landing, decides to take her turn. She steps up to the edge, jumps with all her might, and shouts, "Feathers!" To her amazement, she lands on a soft, cushiony mass of feathers at the bottom of the cliff. Finally, it's the blonde's turn. She hesitates for a moment, gathering her courage, and then approaches the edge of the cliff. Just as she is about to take the leap, she stumbles over a small rock, causing her to lose her balance and tumble over the edge involuntarily. As she plummets down, her eyes widen in panic and she screams, "Shit!" Charlie eagerly enlists in the army and soon finds himself in basic training. As the recruits are being issued rifles, Charlie is at the very end of the line, and just before it's his turn, the supply of rifles runs out. The sergeant hands Charlie a wooden stick and tells him to pretend it's a rifle for the time being. Undeterred, Charlie takes part in the mock battle, wielding his stick and enthusiastically shouting, "Bangity bang bang bang! Bangity bang bang bang!" The following week, the unit begins bayonet training. Once again, Charlie finds himself at the end of the line, and yet again, the supplies run out before they reach him. The sergeant instructs him to imagine he has a bayonet attached to the end of his makeshift rifle. So, Charlie charges through the simulated battle with his wooden stick, exclaiming, "Bangity bang bang bang, stabbity stab stab stab." Eventually, the unit completes basic training and receives orders to deploy for real combat. Charlie, still armed with nothing more than his trusty stick, finds himself aboard a landing craft, approaching the beach. He wonders how on earth he'll survive without a proper weapon. As the unit fights their way inland, Charlie, desperate and unsure, points his stick at an enemy soldier standing on a hill and shouts, "Bangity bang bang bang." Much to his disbelief, the enemy soldier collapses, dead. Emboldened, he aims his stick at another enemy and yells, "Bangity bang bang bang." That enemy falls lifeless to the ground. Now, Charlie dashes fearlessly through the battlefield, pointing his stick at any enemy soldier in sight and shouting, "Bangity bang bang bang." The enemy troops drop like flies. Suddenly, an enemy combatant leaps out from a bush beside him. Charlie points his stick and yells, "Stabbity stab stab stab." The adversary crumples to the ground, writhing in agony. As the battle rages on, an enemy soldier emerges, walking slowly and steadily along a path. Charlie carefully takes aim with his stick and hollers, "Bangity bang bang bang." But the enemy soldier continues to advance, unfazed. Charlie tries once more, "Bangity bang bang bang." Still, nothing happens. As the enemy soldier draws nearer, Charlie cries out in a last-ditch effort, "Stabbity stab stab stab." But the enemy soldier simply runs him over, crushing him beneath his boots. As Charlie lies dying, he hears the enemy soldier murmuring under his breath, "Tankity tank tank tank."